Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, January 12th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As usual, a reminder that we operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow participants and speakers and generally be excellent to each other. Usually we like to try and offer an opportunity here at the beginning for new folks in the whole group to introduce ourselves if there's anyone new, but I don't think there's anyone new on today, so I think we can skip that. This is your chance to let me know if I'm wrong. Cool. Feel free to speak up at any time. As you all know, this is a very casual meeting. Cool. So we can hop right into it, I think. Reminder, if you have any items to discuss, do go ahead and add them into the doc if you can. If you can't, let us know and we'll take care of that. Someone will do it for you. I've lost my chat again. Let me see if I can. Nope. All right, that's fine. All right. Well, someone will ping something at some point, and I'll see it again probably. Oh, there it is. I got it. All right, I'm gonna bring up my chat real quick. I shared the link earlier. I think folks who joined after I shared the link to the notes will still have it. Let me know if that's not correct and you need the
That
link.
is not, in fact, correct. Zoom chats
All
are
right.
and they need to be reposted.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Sorry to be that guy. Well, actually,
No, good. That is why I asked. Perfect. I thought Zoom kept the history, but Google Meet doesn't, but
I think it's the other way around.
maybe.
Zoom does not.
Zoom definitely doesn't. I guess I don't know about Google Meet for sure.
Yeah, I don't know
I
if
don't know.
Google Meet does.
Maybe it doesn't either.
I
Maybe
think
none
the
of
only
them
one
do.
that does is Amazon Chime, to be honest with you, which is
Teams
Could
might.
be. Could be.
No,
That
Teams
makes
does
sense.
not.
Teams does not. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Now
Well,
we
I
know.
have shared the link to the notes again, so if you haven't had a
Jaslyn.
chance to add any items, do it. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome. I thought that was a hey, I need to say something, but it was a thank you for doing that. I got you. Good morning.
How
All
good is
right.
it?
I think we're good to start on our agenda then. We do have a new item to discuss, which I believe is from Mario. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yes. So as you might have seen since Tuesday, there's a big orange banner on Kubernetes.io regarding.
It's been there longer than that.
Oh yeah. Or has
Yeah.
It might
changed.
have been updated.
It might. Yeah, it has been updated. But
Okay, good.
basically, there was an update, so it is now officially that it is going away in January. There is not an exact date. I mean, there's not an exact date that the community knows. And I talked with Gphy about this. The old packages will not be available in the community-owned registry. So basically, if you run a Kubernetes version that is older than, I can't remember, I think 1.22, you won't have any packages anymore when this is gone.
Ooh, that sounds awful.
I don't want to get into the details of what is this, how this decision came, and why we don't host the old things. If anyone is interested, there's an old thread in SIG Infra discussing this. And however, I think that we should send out comms from our side. I also talked with Gphy, and this basically also came from Gphy, that we should provide a blog article on how to package your own deb RPM packages, deb/RPM packages. This will be taken care by Marco and me, so we will write it next week, so that people can potentially build their own old packages. I mean, it doesn't make sense from a pure.
No, it doesn't. But
It,
there's
but
people
we
that
know
live like that. Yeah.
we know enterprise companies, and I honestly, from a personal perspective, I know 3 customers that we have in our company that have older clusters than this. So yeah. But we should send out additional comms regarding this and saying to people, hey, you have in January, this can go away. And then we should also advertise the blog post once it's been published. Unfortunately, Marco and I haven't had the time yet to prepare it because we basically know since yesterday that we will go forward with something like this.
All right. Do you want to do that in an open manner so that we can proofread and check as you go kind of thing? Yeah, cool.
I will draft we will draft something, and then I share it basically in Slack, and then anyone can jump in, and we can co-author it.
Sweet.
The kinds of comms I think we need for this are reminders that the old repos are going away, what the new ones are, I guess.
Yeah, and
pointers to existing documentation.
I mean, if it's end user comms and it is as dire as if you are running an unsupported version, you're just not going to have packages anymore. I kind of feel like there's a certain amount of like just straight up breaking down like, hey, if you are running an older version, you will not be able to have packages anymore, because that is, I think, like if I were an end user who were barely paying attention and it was like, you need to repackage your own deb things, like I would ignore it. I mean, I'm just being honest, like I would. Like it would be like, this isn't relevant to me, but like this is very relevant to you. So I feel like breaking that down in as you know, plain language as possible might not be the worst thing.
No, we definitely need to do that. I 100% agree. I also think this might be one of those situations where we reach out to our friends at cloud providers and make sure they know.
Yeah, that seems good. Do we have like liaisons at cloud providers officially?
Kind of. I mean, I know
I don't
Jeremy.
think officially.
Not officially, right? Like Jeremy's it's usually like the CNCF rep from the organization. So like Jeremy Ricard for Microsoft. I can talk to Dims for Kubernetes here at AWS.
I mean, Dims knows.
Yeah.
Because Dims is SIG infra.
Yeah. No, I know he knows. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, we just need to ask, hey, y'all, do we feel like this is big enough to like, should cloud providers send messages to their customers kind of thing?
Yeah.
So
we will.
The context behind that, sorry, I totally bumped over the historical note there. Anecdotally, we asked folks after the registry change, like, where did you hear about the registry change news? And most of the folks were like, oh, from my cloud provider. Like, not Kates.dev, not Kates.io, not Twitter, not anything. It was cloud provider. And like, I didn't get any other answer when I asked folks. So it's pretty much ubiquitous. So yeah, we're going to have to potentially formalize a process maybe like this. I don't know. In the past, it's been kind of me knocking on doors,
ad hoc,
picking over. Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, it's not that regular that we have a change on this scale. I mean, the only
once a year.
It is getting pretty regular.
Yeah, but we only have so much
registry. Now this. Okay, so like you say it's not that frequent, but it actually happens once a year.
So far, the last few years. Yeah, but talking to the cloud provider folks about that sounds like a good idea. Not exactly sure who the best person is at Google, but
well, Bob
probably
is.
track that down.
Bob is.
Yeah, probably Bob.
Yeah. I'll poke Dims after the meeting and in the official AWS Slack and see if he thinks this merits that. So.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it is like folks who are running their own clusters on the cloud providers. So it's not like
this
the
is our
managed services ones, but there's still a lot of those.
There's a lot of folks
Yeah.
just using bare compute
Yeah,
and
yeah.
running with it kind of thing. Yeah. That's the problem.
Definitely. So I think they should.
It would be nice if we had access to the IO account.
It would be, wouldn't
Right?
it? I
Right?
fussed at the I fussed at the steering committee folks in the SIG meeting. Or no, the chairs and TLs meeting this week. Because
Good.
I had two of them in that meeting. I had Bob and I had Steven. And so I fussed at them, and Bob was like, I have the chat with CNCF open. It's like, okay.
Up.
It's progress. So I'll check back in with him. He has at least sent initial communications to try to get that sorted out.
That's good.
Yeah. We'll put that in the notes.
Because yeah, I mean, if we're talking to Bob anyway, I feel like this is a decent use case for lighting a fire under the butts of whoever is responsible for making that happen. Because this does feel kind of like end user focused comms more than contributor focused comms to some extent.
Bingo.
And so like be like, hey, I know that this has been outstanding, and I know that it hasn't been a big deal, but this is actually a big deal. Can we get these comms out? You know?
Yeah.
Do we have any ambassadors that still work on Cube Weekly still? Or is that all CNCF now? I forget.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I have a meeting with GFE next Tuesday, so I can also ping him regarding maybe CNCF want to send out comms on a more general.
they have an end user group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you were really staticky when you were talking. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I poked Dems. We'll see what he thinks. I mean, push comes to shove, I'll poke her head of product and just be like, hey, what do you think?
All right. We should probably. Do you want to go ahead and ping? No, I'll do that. I'll ping Bob about it because I was already talking
would-
to him about this.
Yeah, I would ping Bob and Jeremy together, to be honest with you. And just be like, hey, guys, is this the same level of need for communication as the registry change? We feel
could do
like
that.
yes, but others may not.
Yeah, you can go ahead and start that one.
Oh, you want me to do it? Okay.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
I think that makes sense. Cool. And so beyond that, on Kate's contributors, we can go ahead and put
Yeah.
these top kinds of things. Things to send on social. I also really need to get that LinkedIn thing sorted out. So I said last week that I was going to work on it that day, and then I remembered that I had something due on Tuesday that I needed to work on. So
We've all been there.
yeah. Yes. And Sundapun brings up a good point in the chat
Mhm.
that
It is
we
that
should
time of year.
probably move to a new dock. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Is
do
that
that
coming?
right this second. Maybe if
No,
we have
yeah.
some time at the end, I'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, we should do
Calendar
that.
invite
Thank you,
gotta
Sundapun.
update. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that a thing that people standardly do? SIG Security has been using the same doc since like 2021.
Well,
Oh.
ours get very big since we do weekly meetings.
Fair enough. We do every other.
I think we did.
We
think-
did do one long dock for a while, and eventually it
Yeah,
just
for
got
like a couple of
untenable.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got
Like-
slow.
Yeah. And we noticed the docks get slower and slower the more people add. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think 3 years was our last one. So
Mhm.
Fair enough.
I think doing yearly though makes sense.
And when you then change the template of the dock, your PC is basically broken.
Don't do that. Just
Sorry to
don't.
ask like basic questions. I was just like, I'd never heard-
No, please
No.
do.
Yeah. like,
Highly
that's
encouraged.
Why we kind of want that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Much appreciated. I should put a note on that. We should move to a new doc soon. Cool. If we have some time at the end of the meeting today, I might go ahead and set that up. Yeah. Anything else on the repo changes? So we need to get some tweets or social media posts written up on that in Buffer.
I am down to do
Ian,
that.
you want to own that? Cool. That'll be good.
Do we want to post them at any particular time, or are we putting them in as drafts to like waiting on the communication from whoever else?
I think go ahead and draft them up. And if you have a time that you think would be a great time to send them, feel free. You have full rights to do that.
Well, I know. I'm partly asking because like to kind of get the
Yeah.
idea of what everybody else thinks.
Yeah. Or you could do the suggested times in Buffer. You could just
Okay.
add
you
it to
could just,
queue.
You could just hit say add to queue and it would go out.
Yeah.
Whenever. Yeah.
Usually when I do it, I'm like, no, I think it should go out at this time. And I
Bingo,
just schedule
yeah.
it for whenever I want. But
Fair enough. I just didn't know if people were like, oh yeah, it definitely needs to be out in the next this many days, or it needs to be out.
That's a
you know,
good
whatever.
question.
It's Friday, so like, is this a weekend post or a weekday post,
This is definitely a
probably
weekday
weekday.
post. We don't
Yeah.
typically post on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably hold it for Monday. You can use the Buffer recommended times still that far out. You can go to like the recommended times view and
Okay.
do
Yeah,
that.
the weekend thing was mainly what I was thinking. I was like, if this is made for people who are talking to their coworkers when they're at work, then
And this
Yeah.
might be something we want to blast out a couple of times too.
yeah,
So
no, you're
you could-
right.
You could probably come up with a few posts. So
We could even do like daily posts because we don't know exactly when this will happen in
this
January.
is true. I was just
Oh,
worried
yeah.
about like spamming people about the same thing over and over again because we can't
Well, we
write
could-
the same
I mean,
content. You know.
Yeah.
There's ways that you can do that, right? Instead of literally spamming the same tweet over again, be like, have you heard
Yeah.
about the registry change?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think, yeah, it makes sense because people don't see the first one that you do, The
Okay.
guidance I've often gotten is tweet
Because
as much
it
as you want.
is, I feel like either this tweet needs to go out today, like soon, although it is
Yes.
already the weekend in APAC, or it needs to go out on Monday.
Both.
Or if we do daily,
So let's put it this way.
que no las dos.
If this is as soon as so people will break
Yes.
because of this, and they only have like honestly not so much time anymore, and they probably don't have the time to fix this. The only thing that they can do is basically get the packages now and save them somewhere, and then figure out how to work around this.
Okay. So I'll put one out today and then put maybe another one out on Monday with some other wording or something. I'll figure it out.
Cool.
Thank you. Let
And
me
if
know
you want
need
any help with posts, yeah, let
Yeah.
folks know.
Appreciate
Cool. All right. Yep. Avinash says that he's available to help. I think we have lots of folks available to help. I did go over the Buffer thing last time. If anyone still needs access to Buffer, do let me know. DM me on Slack, and I will get you added. You might want to figure out some opportunities for folks to post on Buffer soon. Maybe later for this one. Probably get it started and then ask for help. But we should probably try to get folks more familiar with Buffer if we have a
I haven't
chance
actually
to.
done it yet, so I want to try this one by myself. I think.
Yeah, definitely you should.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, just thinking there might be other projects that maybe we could put together to get folks more experience with Buffer.
Well, for sure.
We
And
can
also,
worry about that later.
if we circle back later to the, contributor summit call, I think there were lots of tweets that lives in there.
All right. Contributor Summit is a good point. Well, Contributor Summit has its own comms team.
Yeah.
I
No,
did
meant
get
for
the
the like SIG call for help last time.
Oh, yeah. There's that too.
Oh,
But Contributor Summit, also a good point that I should bring up. I did give access to Buffer to the comms lead for the summit this time, who's not one of our normal group members. I think it's Natalie is the comms lead this time. So I got her access, and she currently needs approval level of access, but I told her that if she's comfortable with the platform and wants it, I'm okay with giving her full posting access where she doesn't need to approve things or can approve other folks' tweets because she has her own team of comms folks for the Contributor Summit. So just FYI, that's a thing.
Thank you for doing that.
Of course. And then I had forgotten about the Help Wanted project. Help Wanted. We were going to do the video thing, and I think Sandipan, you were going to own some of that. Do we have any updates on that?
The contributes when you go to updates, it's the Excel sheet. I took timestamps of every call for help and roughly wrote what's in there, and the only thing that needs to be done is drafting tweets. You can click on the Excel file, on the sheets file that is in updates. There you can basically see them all.
Awesome. Could you send the link to the
It's
doc
in the
where you
doc.
have the timestamps?
It's in the doc. It's updates,
it's in
big
this
wins,
doc.
and
scroll down. Yeah.
Scroll down. And
Oh, there you
updates,
go.
and there you can
Perfect.
click.
Yeah, that is an update. So good point. Perfect. There we go.
Cool.
That is all of the things that we have on our agenda for today. Excellent. I'll grab this. Maybe I'll see if I can grab this link real quick and post it in the chat as well. Yeah, there it goes. Cool. So that is one thing where if you are new to access to Buffer, we could use some help with that probably. Yeah. Does anyone particularly want to do tweets for the Contributor Summit help wanted call outs from North America?
Okay, so I'm talking to Bob.
Uh-huh.
And he's saying
I'm
no
concerned.
to like an everywhere blast, but he says it's getting shut down next week.
Why is he saying no to an everywhere blast? I'm actually legit confused by that.
Yeah, this does not impact running clusters. It only impacts users running out of date clusters.
That's like a shit ton of people.
When they
Like,
go
if
to,
you'll excuse my French, there's a lot of people doing that.
I know, and we
Well,
have apparently a
only when
ballpark.
they're pulling images for the cluster, but
Right.
I mean, still.
I mean, as like I feel like I have this argument with core maintainers at least yearly. Like, as somebody who has pen tested a lot of different clusters in a lot of different production environments, I would make no assumptions on what people are doing in there. Like there are lots of people who are doing lots of things, and many of them are perhaps not what everybody would expect, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
let me add you in, Mario.
is this in Slack somewhere?
Yeah, I'll add you all.
He has a DM going.
Sorry, I should have done this in like public channel somewhere.
Maybe with the number of people that were getting on it, but it's probably good to kind of work it out amongst a smaller group first. All right. You'll have fun with that. I'll check in on that later.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Anyone particularly want to claim working on tweets for the help wanted stuff?
Actually, I didn't attend the last meeting. So what it is about, like these are the
I can
videos.
explain.
Yeah.
So at the Contributor Summit in North America, we had a little portion of the Contributor Summit where we invited SIG leads on stage to talk about the help that they wanted, which So for 2022, there's this whole conversation about the annual report. Because in 2021 and 2020, the annual report was like a whole thing. Each SIG contributed to it, and then we had someone who kind of collected all of that information and made like an all-up report of here's like the help wanted for every SIG, and kind of collected all of the data into one place, and the CNCF shared that. That didn't happen for 2022, so all of that help wanted sorry. All of that help wanted information was just like in the specific SIG repos. It never got collected into one place. And so we never did our project of sharing the help wanted from 2022, which Sundapun pointed out and started working on collecting all of that, but it was quite late. So this happened at the Contributor Summit in North America in October, one of those two. And so instead of using the help wanted information from the 2022 report, which is quite old at this point and also difficult to get to, we said that we should grab the timestamps from that video and share out the help wanted calls that happened just a couple of months ago. So Mario went through and grabbed the timestamps from that recording for which SIG is calling for help and like what kinds of stuff they're talking about. Thank you, Mario, for putting all of this information all together. Very helpful. So we can go ahead and compose tweets for each one of these.
I mean, there are some where this is why I added another column is relevant and social, because, for example, the SIG infra call for help is not necessarily something that is interesting for contributors, because this is basically, hey, I need specific parts of the Kubernetes community to be involved like this. So maybe we should, or I would double check if we really need to tweet about any call for help, because some of them also only are relevant for specific parts of the Kubernetes project. As I said, for example, the SIG infra in line 7. Because they are looking for code owners in Kubernetes testing. And they are probably aware, you know?
Yeah.
But for the other ones, and some SIGs are duplicated. So we had, I think, 3 times SIG security that were asking for different help. So, and I would honestly tweet about each different part that ask for help, or maybe so that it gets more visibility, because it's different subgroups in those SIGs and stuff like this.
I can help with drafting the SIG security tweets because I'm familiar with all of those asks.
This would be really nice, because I honestly did not understand everything that was asked.
I can help with those ones. Partly what that was all about was that we wanted our sub project leads to be able to like speak to their own projects instead of just having the chair speak for them. So you know, we were like, get on the stage, you know. So yeah, can totally help you with that. Do you want to Slack me about it, or do you want me to just like take over those and put them in buffer, or how do you want that to work?
There's a space for a tweet here in the spreadsheet, and I put your name as owner.
Perfect. Okay. And you link the spreadsheet. All right. I'm slightly slow.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think you can put the draft in here and go ahead and put it into buffer.
Fabulous. I can do that. Thank you.
Yeah, and just throw it into the queue, I think. And it'll be good. So you might want to wait until the weekday. Like I said, when I do it, I'm usually like, if I have an opinion, I'll put the opinion in there.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'll just put it in the queue.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you have access and you are welcome to use it at your discretion.
That means
it is content by contributors for contributors. It doesn't have to be totally perfect.
SIG security does everything by consensus, just always. And so sometimes if I'm asking everybody's opinions on things, it's because that's just how I'm used to doing it, you know?
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
We like opinions around here.
Yeah, appreciate that. So for everyone else, if you're interested in writing a tweet, go ahead and put yourself as owner for that. If you're not sure what the thing means and you need some help understanding it, let us know. You can also reach out in the relevant SIG and say, hey, I'm going to put out a help wanted tweet for you. I could use this recording, or is there something else you would like me to say? And you can just have the SIG tell you. But do go ahead and claim those if you would like to just write a tweet. We will help you make sure that that gets done. The one for SIG ContribEx was me, so you all are probably familiar with most of that stuff. All right. Any other questions about this help wanted social media posting project?
Does if having remembered at least part of your ContribEx ask, is that something we want to put out to the general public?
I think so.
Okay.
There was the social media ask, but there's also we need help with Hugo. So like anyone who has familiarity with Hugo, we would love for you to join us as contributors.
Yeah.
Okay.
One Chris short is not enough.
Yeah. Slack moderation, technical automation, like those. It's better if you have context, but it's not absolutely required. So
I deeply disagree with you, but that's okay. Moderation in
depends on
particular, I think requires a lot of context.
well, yeah, moderation maybe.
Yes.
For the technical automation, it's like if you're interested in automating some stuff, you're welcome to join. Though realistically, I think folks need context.
Actually, I
Ryan.
wanted to ask what the technical automation stuff is, because you said it. As soon as I saw you talking about it in the video, I was like, huh. But what is the topic that we need to tackle there? Because I can do some stuff potentially there.
There's a few things that come up periodically. You have been kind of tackling them as they come up, but the main thing I think is the Zapier stuff, which Chris can speak to.
So we have, and Noah maintains a part of it. We have automations that say, hey, there's a new video in the Zoom account, put it in Google Drive, and then another automation to take it from Google Drive and put it into YouTube. That's working, but it's kind of fails sometimes, as Zapier jobs do. So making that more robust somehow, but Nigel owns that process. And I'm supposed to document all these, and now that I have the time to next week, I'm going to. But there's more automations than that, right? Like blog posts, we use the RSS feeds from both blogs to send out posts as they get posted automatically. And I think that's it for Zapier right now. I think there's only like 4 active jobs in there, but there's probably room for more things that we haven't thought of yet, too.
Yeah, just let me know. So I will first tackle the other thing in last week's Kubernetes development, and then we can just continue.
I'm glad that we're talking about this because just posting the videos from the summit is, I think, not bad on a surface level, but we could also use this as an excuse to get the SIGs thinking about how well defined their asks are.
Right.
Because
I mean,
for us,
I think
automation is not.
If it's not,
Go ahead.
If the ask is not understandable by us, I would not assume that it is going to be understandable by the average contributor who we are communicating to. And so if the asks are unclear, I think asking them, hey, we're about to tweet out your call for help. This was a little bit, can you help us clarify what you meant by that so we can make sure to get your point across? Like, I think as an exercise, that's not a bad thing to do anyway, and we'll probably end up with more, more enlightening comms for.
And I think, honestly, we're probably going to end up doing that for all of these.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, it's extra work, but like, I think, I say this as somebody who is, also a weird nerd, like I think generally speaking, like all of us could, always use help with clarity of communication, so I think it might.
So I think ownership of one of these help wanteds means that you are going to need to go to the SIG channel, say, hey, I'm working on putting together some comms about help wanted for your SIG. I have this video, but I'm not sure exactly what parts of it are relevant to a potentially non-contributor audience. What should I say? So let me write that out.
Well, and also just be like, if there are any particular points in there that feel maybe not as clear as they could be, just be like, we were wondering what you meant by technical automation, or, about these things. Also, if we're reaching out to SIGs about it, it provides an opportunity for updates, because if some SIG is like, actually, we got that, we don't need that anymore, then we don't need to post it anyway,
And I basically can add the person that came up to stage so that we have the contact point as well.
Cool. And for SIG security, because we do everything by consensus, I think I can just write it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hello, I'm part of the contributor comms group and I'm working on putting together some comms on help wanted for your SIG. I have this video, link to timestamp, make that square brackets. I have the video of your call for help from the NA Contributor Summit in 2023. Is this accurate? Is there anything you'd like to clarify? Potential net new contributors. Cool. Something like this. So if you want to own one of those tweets, sorry, I'm still a little stopped up from COVID. If you want to own one of these tweets, use this example message for SIGs. Throw that into the SIG channel, replace the timestamp with your timestamp, and write a tweet. Sujay claims SIG release. Thank you, Sujay. Let's see, SIG release. Yeah, and also if a SIG is not represented here that you know of, that you want to talk with about doing a help wanted, feel free to do that as well. Thank you, Avinash.
I think also that this is now a new regular thing on the contributor summit, so I will guess we get a new list or a new video after Paris.
Yeah, we were saying that this was really good last time, so we'll probably do it at the contributor summit again in Paris. An excellent point. So we may do this more frequently now that we don't have the annual report to rely on.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So please do go ahead and claim these. If you need any help, let us know. Example of how to reach out to the SIG is in the notes. Feel free to use that. Cool. Any other questions, comments about this help wanted thing? I'm glad that we talked about this. I'm glad that we're moving on it.
Yeah, I would like to mention one point. Like, since a few months passed, it may be outdated. SIGs may not need help on those specific points.
Yeah, it is possible. So that's another reason to reach out to the SIG. If you own a tweet, reach out to the SIG, I think is the process. Like, it's not the worst thing to send it out. It's just, it was just in November, I think, early November. So then there was the holidays, and then it's now.
But I think for
So
the
most
sake of
likely
like,
these are still relevant, but yeah.
for you know, to speak to the earlier point though of like, not all of these things are clear to us. If we're trying to, you know, restate them in tweet form, getting that clarity is probably not the worst thing for really anybody.
Plus, it's an excuse to make the SIGs think about how clear their help wanted requests are.
Yeah.
So definitely the process is just reach out to the SIG regardless.
Cool beans.
Also, it will be a regular thing for comms, at least right after the contributor summit.
Yeah, after each KubeCon, this will be a recurring thing, I think, assuming that we actually do the help wanteds again, which I think we will.
Those seem successful. So
Yeah. And the contributor summit staff has already been talking about that it was very successful and that we want to do it again. It's possible it could fall through the cracks with all of the planning and just not end up on the schedule, but I think it will. We'll try to make sure that happens.
Yeah, exactly. I will also remind content once they plan it.
And then Fika is content, who is normally in our group. She's not on today, but so we should have the power to remind to make this happen.
Hopefully.
I love how involved our folks are. You all are awesome. All right. All right. Once again, any questions, comments about the Help Wanted project? Please do go ahead and claim ownership if you would like to do some work on this. I highly encourage everyone to do some work on this. It's pretty accessible. I just need to make sure that you have access to buffer, and then you can draft something up, and then your draft gets reviewed before it goes out. So you're not going to mess it up. And it would be a good chance for you to interact with a SIG, learn something, and share it with the community. So highly encourage everyone to take on one of these if you're comfortable doing so. All right. And with that, and with 10 minutes left, let's hop into the board. Woohoo! Woo! Board time. Yay.
Oh, Luna, it's okay.
Ooh, exciting first thing on the board. The Spotlight blog for SIG release is merged, it looks like.
Yeah.
So that is out now, I guess. I missed that coming out. Let's
Is
go
that
see.
the one from Nitish?
Yes, the Nitish one.
Yeah, so it was merged, the contributor site one.
Contributor
but
site.
I think that the website one is still pending. At least I got a message today and a question from I don't know if Nitish is here. If he is, I'll let him obviously address the topic, but I don't think he is. So I'll just catch up on that. It was the contributor site one, which is the first one that needs to be reviewed and merged, was merged. And Nitish asked if he needed to open a new one on website, and I replied in the discussion that yes, that was the approach. So I'm assuming that he will shortly open up the website one and do the small little changes that need to be done for the website article. So that's the only thing missing, I think, is the website one.
So this is supposed to be the contributor site one, but I don't see it on the blog here.
I mean, it's merged, but the publication date, I don't know if it's for today.
Okay, interesting.
Right? It could be. So in the header, you specify the day, and it will only get published when that day, when that time it goes into the minute.
1:15
arrives.
Yep, January 15th. That's right. I remember that there was that whole discussion about making that automation work.
So that's it for that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that'll go out on January 15th. We do have automation to pick that up and tweet about it, which is one reason why I was like, why have I not seen a tweet about this yet? So seems like we will have a tweet about that and it will be out officially on January 15th. Yay! Thank you very much, Federico and Nitish, for getting this done. And I look forward to seeing it on the regular website as well. Any other discussion points for the SIG release item? I'm going to leave that on ready for review right now rather than moving it to done, because the website bit is still pending and it's not actually out yet. Any questions, comments, or other notes about this? Alrighty, we'll move into the in-progress items then. First one is SIGCade's infra, which is Bishal, and Bishal's not on today, so we'll skip. SIG architecture spotlight article.
Yeah.
Federico, how
So-
are things going?
Update on that. So for the SIG architecture one, I've pinged again the 3 missing articles, and I haven't got any reply this week. So
Okay.
I think a lot of them have notifications turned off. So I'm assuming that maybe they are still not completely back from the holiday season. But even if that's not the case, I mean, they are not answering, and there is no additional content there. Of these 3, 2 of them already have content, so they are very close to being ready, but I can't really move forward without them, without it being complete. So unfortunately, that's the current situation, and I will continue to insist so that we can at least on the two of them that are already close to being done, we can move forward.
So much of blogging work is persistence.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Federico, for pushing on these. It is still early in the year, so I'm not surprised that they're not moving much right now. A lot of folks are just kind of trying to get a handle on things and get back on their feet in 2024, so that is a-okay. Appreciate you pushing that through. The next one is the book reading club, which I assume is also still on hold.
Yeah. I mean, it's still being worked on, but in that one, I've talked with Carlos, and we have a tentative deadline for this month. He mentioned that he has people working with him in the book club now, so it will point them towards the article and try to finish it up so that we can have something out, hopefully still in January.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome. Let's move on to the next one then. The next one is SIG Node Spotlight, which is ARPIT. You were dealing with exams when we checked at the end of December.
Yep.
You ready to pick this
So,
back up, or what's your status?
Yep. So the doc is ready. I am sharing
Cool.
it in the chat. Here it is. Okay.
Oh no, I'm not logged in. I want to move it to review. I'll deal with that in a minute. Awesome.
Okay. So, I want to ask something.
I
Like,
don't have access.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Wonderful.
Nice.
Thank you. All right, so this is the interview doc. So not ready
Yep.
for review yet.
Yep. I am adding some more final conclusion type of questions for the ending of the block.
but I have literally categorized them between the topics. But at the time of forming the blog, I will basically try to like make a story of them.
Cool. And kind of to review Spotlight blogs, the process is to come up with questions. You share them with the SIG leads. We usually recommend doing it async in a document like this. And then they will eventually answer them, and then you put that together into a blog post. I remember when I did mine originally, I was like, all right, I'll interview them, and then I will make it kind of into a narrative, like you're saying. And then I ended up using a lot of the quotes directly. And a lot of folks kind of just post the interview directly. So there's no specific format that you have to be in. Once you get the answers, you can see what you like best. If you want to reform it into a narrative, if you'd prefer to post it directly, both of those are okay.
Also, like I checked my last message to the SIG node. It's been 3 months, and I actually told them that I will be posting the doc in a week. So I am now planning to actually hop in the weekly meeting of SIG node and then talk to them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And that's okay. These SIG spotlights, sorry, these SIG spotlights often take a long time and kind of get put on the back burner for a little bit, and then they come back, often because of release schedules, or the leads just never get around to it, or the person doing the interview is busy. And that's okay. We appreciate you pushing it through. And attending the meeting sounds like a great way to get their attention.
Also, one more thing, like I don't know, it's me, but my calendar invite is like striked off. So that's why I didn't attend the last meeting, because I thought it has been cancelled.
Oh, weird. It's on my schedule, and I own the calendar for SIG ContribEx, and I know it's on there.
Yeah,
So you
but
might want
it's
to.
on mine, and it is striked. Like the invite is striked off.
Well, it hasn't actually. So
Yeah, I joined from that striked invite only today, but
weird, because it's on the SIG ContribEx calendar. So that seems like it's a you problem.
Did you somehow responded with no?
nope.
Okay.
I don't know. That does happen periodically. I feel like lots of folks have calendar issues periodically, and I don't know what all of the causes might be. If you go to
So-
the calendar,
I know for me, like if we cancel a meeting, it does not fall out of my calendar because of the way I subscribe.
oh
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes for folks, if you have a core working hour configuration, meetings automatically get declined when you get invited after working hours. For me, this is usually the case.
That's true. You can see here on the kates.dev, the contributor site calendar. It is listed for today. So the meeting.
Okay, so
series.
Sujay was right.
Yeah.
I checked, it has been selected as no.
Oh. All right then. Yeah, the meeting is still active, so once you sort out which of the many various problems it could be, that one among others. Yeah, you can fix that, I think. Thank you for pointing it out. I'm glad. It's good to mention periodically that like things can happen with the meeting invite. So do check your meeting invites and make sure that you've got them sorted out. Yeah, thank you, Sujay. And thank you, Chris and Mario, for sharing other ways that this could happen. Lots of potential failure modes. Much appreciated. Excellent. So thank you very much, Arpit, for getting that interview doc ready to go and for being willing to push that through to the end, even though it takes a while sometimes. I look forward to seeing what you hear from SIGNode in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. Do you need any help with that? I think you're probably good to go.
Yep.
Cool.
Let's see how the interview goes.
Excellent. Thank you. So the next one is the annual report 2022 posts. Darn it, I'm not signed in. I'd like to edit this to be help wanted posts. And clarify the exercise that we're doing with that. But I'll go ahead and get through these and then worry about that. We're already a minute past, so sorry folks if you need to go. No worries. Much appreciated your attendance for today. Last couple of items that are in progress. Establishing a process to prevent duplication of LWKD articles. Mario, you had done some work with that. I don't know if the LWKD folks have acknowledged it.
Yeah, I'm just waiting, but I will bother them next week, because I just wanted people to give some time to get back into the office.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for tackling that. One of our many technical automation things that just comes up periodically. And then attempting to contact the Kubernetes LinkedIn group owners. We already mentioned. I had that on my to-do list last week and got distracted by another deadline. It's back on my to-do list today, so we'll see if I get to it before next meeting. We do have that comms about the repo, so I'd like to try and grab that for that. We'll see if I get it in time. LinkedIn process might also be slow, so we'll see. And aside from that, I think I'll leave the to-dos since we're already over time. Any beyond last minute items that folks want to discuss real quick since I have time? Cool. Thank you so much.
I have one thing.
Oh yeah, please
Yeah.
do. Go ahead.
So I was not active for last a few months, and for that I'd like to keep the tech lead here open for anyone who would like to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you, Sujay, for bringing that up. So Sujay is technically currently listed as our tech lead.
Yeah, let me add.
This is something that happens periodically.
Yeah, but I was not doing actually anything for a while.
Which sometimes is the case with tech lead. Like we said, the technical automation work is kind of like wavy. Sometimes we have some, sometimes we don't. In the last few months, I think it's been kind of quiet anyway.
Yeah.
Mario has taken on some. Mario, you want to be tech lead?
I don't mind. I can. But I first want to let's first figure out the stuff that Chris mentioned, so that let me get into some of the stuff and then we can chat about this, I guess. I mean,
Sounds
there's no
good.
pressure to change some folks right now, right? It's
Yeah. So we have a tech lead role document, which Sujay, thank you for updating that when we did our whole process on that last year. So we do have a definition of roughly what a tech lead in our group owns. So if you're interested in that role, do take a look at that. Like we said, it's kind of a up and down role. So as someone emerges who is interested in that role, we'll change it. Sujay, we can go ahead and remove you from that if that's what you'd like to do. And just leave the role as open.
Yeah. Just as you like.
Cool. So we might do that. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
If I am not
Maintaining
wrong, we
roles
can
is
have
difficult.
multiple leads, right?
Yes, we are able to have multiple leads as well. So Sujay, if it's something that you would like to pick back up and continue doing, I'm also fine with just leaving you on it. For now, at least.
Okay, but I don't think I'll be active for a while. That's why. Okay,
That's
if
what
I'm
I figured
available,
it sounded like.
I will ask. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, cool. So we'll probably take you off of it for now and just kind of leave it open. But yeah, we are also able to have multiple tech leads. So for anyone in the group, if that's something you're interested in, go check out the role document. We can talk about it more next time. Cool. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Any other beyond last minute discussion items? Awesome. Roles are living things within our group. We can always change the role documents and we can always shift who is in those positions as we need as a group. So always feel free to bring up discussion about roles and leadership and things like that. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. And I'll go ahead and stop the recording.